And what happened to where you took a break from music when you came home?
Yeah.
And it seemed like you had a episode, a real breakdown.
Nah, it was real.
Mentally, what happened with that?
Okay, so leaving Flo felt like, man, I don't know what a divorce might feel like, and you know what I'm saying. But I'm saying like having his endorsement and then being walked into the industry, and that's how you meet everybody. I met all my heroes. I met all the label executives and A&Rs and writers and producers. I mean, everybody. And I'm being endorsed by this huge persona, right? It's hard to walk around, even in a regular relationship with anybody. People gonna ask you where your best friend at, or where your spouse is, or where whoever. So it was hard for me to adjust to, you know, people asking me but not telling people what really happened. I didn't want to create no narrative out there, so I struggled. And I wanted to get a new deal. I didn't think that was it for me. I felt like I didn't seen too much. I've done too much. I'm deserving of an opportunity, and I'm deserving of success, just in my own mind. Right. So how I ended up having a mental breakdown was I came up with the plan. I wanted to get a deal that had nothing to do with nobody that was around me. Because I had a bunch of people around me going, oh, he wouldn't have got this if it wasn't for me. He wouldn't have got that if it wasn't for me. Everybody felt responsible. And it's like, nah, I was writing them songs. Yeah, I was writing them songs. You know what I'm saying? I was in the studio by myself. You know what I'm saying? I was on them stages. I was putting in that work. So I literally ended up going out to LA to kick it with one of my label mates. And I ended up writing for Interscope. And in the midst of writing for Interscope, one of the A&Rs at Interscope got me out of Interscope and brought me over to the Game studio. So I was still writing for Interscope artists, but he just didn't want me at Interscope studio. Like, it's a whole little type of thing how A&Rs move too. So I'm at the Game's personal studio writing for different artists. And me and K-Camp was really cool. Shout out to K-Camp. And he would invite me to his crib to kick it and smoke and shit like that. And we out there with Travis Porter, all just vibing. And my label mate that I was referring to, she had a session out there in LA, and she was dealing with some things with her voice, and she really didn't feel like recording. And she knew that I was, anytime studio time was available, I'm coming. Yeah. See, now I record myself, you know what I mean? I can record when I want to, but back then I was a recording junkie. If it's open, I'm coming. So how it happened was she knew to get a session to me. She gave it to me. I left K-Camp house with his manager at the time, Jay Shep. We pulled up to this studio session, and because she was such a huge artist at the time, everybody was in that session. But she knew she wasn't recording, but they didn't. So I'm in there, and Tommy Brown's in there. Tommy Brown is Ariana Grande's like right hand, you know, they yin and yang, like they do everything together. He's produced major big shit. He's producing the beat for her at this, not Ariana Grande, but my label mate. He's producing the beat for her at this time, and she stood up and told everybody like, hey, this is my friend Nuk. He's a former label mate of mine, and he's dope, and he's gonna be recording with y'all today. And when I tell you it went from 50 people to 5 people, everybody started pulling out cords and hooking up instruments, and motherfuckers was gone. So the only like 5 people that was there left was the engineer, the songwriter that was there to lay the reference for my label mate, her representation, a guy with some modeling agency was there, and then another guy with a production company was there. And they all was just kicking and talking like, and I went in there, and the engineer looked at me and he was like, man, you might as well go ahead. I get paid to be here anyway. And I remember I didn't have nothing written. I didn't have none prepared. I didn't know that it was going to be this type of situation, but I wanted to catch them 5 people that was in there. I'm like, it's 5 people in here. I got to do something. So I just went in there and rapped what I had on my mind that day. Mm-hmm. And Calico had just passed, like maybe a week prior or 2 weeks before this moment. Yeah. So I just went in there and I was just like, I've been in LA for 12 days in a sloppy hotel room with hella maids. I slide from the valley to Santa Monica. I'm mixing the coke with the Hennessy. And one time for Cali, you know I gotta make it happen. Counting the money on the way to breakfast. She made it be the coldest. She something like her body may be the coldest I didn't had, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is pre Roddy Ricch. This is pre really like crazy melodic shit. At this time, it was just Thug, Future, Drake maybe, and like Kid Ink or somebody. So to see a melodic guy out in LA, I mean, that was gold to them. So them 5 people, man, made moves. And like I said, how I ended up having a breakdown was bringing it all around was the mental agony and stress I was under. Like once the girl that was in there writing the reference, her manager was actually managing artists under the guy who was in there as production company. And he wanted to sign me. So she got to work ASAP. Found out I was over there at Interscope. found out what studio I was recording at, was coming to the studio every day with a hard drive, just getting references and stuff. And she was taking it to all the majors, Capitol, Atlantic, Republic, Def Jam, all the places. And next thing I knew, I was on the phone with Eardrummers, Mike Will. I was on the phone with Spotify when they was trying to give out distribution deals. I mean, next thing I knew, I had 10, 11 deals on the table. Man. And I still was maneuvering through that because everybody was trying to give me everything. And when you getting offered deals, they trying to give you clothes, they trying to give you money, they trying to invite you to concerts, boxing matches, all type of shit. And I was just under. And this whole time, I'm still signed to Flow. This whole time, I'm still signed to Flow because I can't sign to nobody else when I'm still signed to him. So I got to sign to somebody that's willing to either try to get me out the deal, buy me out the deal, or renegotiate or partner with him, something. So that was a problem too. So there was some people that weren't willing to negotiate or didn't even want to touch Flo because he was so huge. So it was just a turbulent time in my life. And I ended up taking the deal that excluded everybody that had put pressure on me. And that's how I ended up getting signed to Sony. That was the only deal that I felt nobody around me had a hand in, where they can try to control me, man. I felt like everybody was trying to control me. I mean, not even felt like they were. And that's how I ended up getting signed to Sony. I knew I had the deal in May. I had my mental breakdown in September. Because once I left LA, I was actually living out there. So once I left LA, I kind of was just in limbo for 3-4 months waiting on the paperwork to come. So I'm just smoking weed crazy.
That creates anxiety.
Yeah. Idle mind is a devil's workshop. So I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm doing rapper shit, doing shit I ain't had no business doing. You know what I'm saying? Just killing time, I feel like everybody's against me. So I'm real like noited and argumentative and like, you know what I'm saying? Trying to beat everybody to the punch. I turned into somebody I hated because I had got done wrong so bad and so long. And I'm not the victim. Like, if you look at me now, I don't look like nothing I've been through, but I didn't know how to be anymore. I'm like, if I be too nice, they gonna run over me. You know what I'm saying? And if I be an asshole, nobody's gonna wanna work with me. So it's like, how do I be? So I just was, it was bad. And I ended up, I didn't know it happened. Like, it's not even something I sat and could see over time. I thought I was fine. If you would have asked me in August 2017, I would have told you I was great. I know I'm about to get signed to Sony, you know what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm like, man, I got a bigger deal than the Flow deal. You know what I'm saying? And in my mind, I'm like, shit, they can't touch me. He ain't had nothing to do with it. He ain't had nothing to do with it. You definitely ain't had nothing to do with it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely would have ended up signing Young Money. I believe 100%. I didn't take that deal as far as that situation because someone that was associated with that situation was putting pressure on me that I just didn't want on me. So I just did not take that deal. But I had crazy opportunities, dog, and I ended up still having a mental breakdown. Still trying to avoid all that pressure. It was still pressure because I was scared. The way people was talking to me, I felt like they was gonna try to end me, bro, behind some of this shit. Like, I'm like, man, I just make songs, pop songs, songs for the girls. I'm a singing hip hop nigga. Like, I ain't no street nigga. I don't want no beef. I don't want no problems with nobody. But the way niggas was talking to me behind that paperwork and shit like that, it was different. And I was scared, and I didn't feel like nobody had my back. I didn't feel like nobody was willing to fight with me, stand with me. They was all telling me to take everything. Anybody I thought that loved me or had my back was telling me to take everything. Take that one, get this one, because the bags they was offering me was crazy.
So they like, just get the money.
Get the money, but I'm like, man, I don't want to owe these people, man, hell nah. So it was just a lot, and when I had my mental breakdown, man, I didn't want to be a musician no more. I didn't even want the Sony deal. I didn't want the advance. I didn't want nothing. And that's how I ended up vanishing and disappearing for 3 years. Because chemically, I was just off. It wasn't drugs. It wasn't none of that other stuff. Sometimes psychologically, you can chemically, just like the rest of your organs. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the stigma out here with mental health is like, it's like, ooh, stay away from him or stay away from her. She crazy. But nah, if somebody have heart failure, you empathize. Kidney failure, you empathize. The brain is just an organ like the rest of them. Mm-hmm. And it's actually more vital because without the brain, everything else ain't going to function. So yeah, I just was in a rough patch and I got to see how people really felt about me, dog. Like, I never, you know me, bro. I never did nothing to nobody, bro. And I just didn't know how bad people wanted to beat me. They just wanted to I didn't know I was the standard. I didn't know that I was the man at the top of the hill. You know what I mean? So when I crashed and, you know what I mean, timed out or maxed out, it was, he out the way, cool, my turn. That was everybody's energy. And I felt it, man. I was suicidal. I wanted to kill myself. I never wanted to kill anybody. But, it's that mental health shit can send you either way. It can send you down a road where you want to do harm to somebody else or do harm to yourself. Thank God I only wanted to do harm to myself, and I felt like I was a coward. That's the only reason I didn't do it. I was suicidal for a long time, 2 years. Every day I woke up, did not want to be here. I just wanted to sleep all day. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I had signed to Sony and I got in advance and I didn't have to work. Bills was paid up. I'm just ducked off, secluded to myself, watching Netflix and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't write a song for 3 years. So when I made my mixtape, I'm Back, the most recent one in 2020, Sony endorsed it still after 3 years of me signing to them doing nothing.
Man, and you know what? You came with the I'm Back. You came hard.
Thank you.
And you really had some great tracks on there.
Yeah.
Was the I Wonder track on there?
Nah.
Okay.
I Wonder was actually the first song Sony put out, despite me even talking to them. I wasn't even talking to Sony, bro, but they love that song so much. They like, but Sony seen that before. What blew my mind is that my situation wasn't rare to them. Oh, he'll be all right.
Yeah, they were impressed.
Oh, he'll be all right. Yeah. That's what happens. They get a bunch of money, they have problems in their relationship, get into it with their label mates, and they end up in a psych ward, drugged up or something, but whatever. It was just like, I'm not saying Sony said this in particular, but just in the industry, it's not crazy what I went through. They didn't even think twice.
Like it's normal.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So they was putting out music for me and shit. So anything you seen from 17 to 20 was not me. Somebody was running my Instagram. Somebody was uploading shit. It was not me. I didn't come back to music into 2020.
Yeah, because you don't have a video for I Wonder.
Nope.
And I wish you would have, because that's one of my favorite records.
That's my biggest song. It took me to the Grammys.
Tell me, talk to me about I Wonder. And who is the guy singing on it with you?
Marco Foster. So we were label mates. Marco was signed to Flo. Wow. We actually did the song when we were both signed to Flo.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, that was just one of the songs I was using in that shopping period. When Gabby was the manager that was in the studio when I laid that verse. When me and Gabby got together, man, I saw that it don't always take money. Money's important. We are in the music business. Like, you cannot be in this business without money, right? But in any business, just finding somebody who's just as eager and adamant to win as you are.
Yeah.
Just for themselves. When I ran into Gabby, man, that was another person. Like I told you, when I ran into Ed, when I ran into Lil B, when I ran into Flo, when I ran into Gabby, that was another person that a light bulb went off. My life changed overnight because she was just as pressed behind what we was trying to do as I was. And I Wonder was one of the songs I already had in the vault to just put on the hard drive with everything that I was doing out there in LA. Yeah. And that was the one that Sony was like, nah, this a hit. Man. And Marco just happened, but Sony ended up signing Marco from the Flow situation because of I Wonder.
Yeah, and I mean that record is dope, and it was really one of, like you said, it got I'm Back. That was a real statement. That record was, look, I'm here, I'm back, I'm here with it. And since then, during the pandemic, you were moving a lot, putting out content, and even just recently, you had a sold out show here in Cincinnati, in the tri-state area, Madison Theater. Really. Put on, like, it was like one of the biggest shows this summer on the artist that's, you know, the local artist scene, far as being from here. Not necessarily, that's not saying you're local, but
I get what you're saying.
Putting on a show in your hometown. Tell me about that. You teamed up with Santino for it, and it was a hit. It
was dope, man. Like, I'm proud of what we did, you know, but after everything I've been through, man, I don't feel like nobody owed me nothing, man. You know, my favorite thing to say right now is I expect nothing, so anything is everything, you know, and I'm just blessed to be able to be back doing what I love, because when I was gone them 3 years, I didn't think I was ever going to make a song again. I couldn't believe I was in the psych ward. I'm like, man, I was just on stage in China in front of 80,000 people. How am I in here? Like, you know what I mean? So when I made I'm Back was more so to say, you know, I'm about to show y'all what I don't think y'all really got to see, because when I got signed to Flow, nobody got to really see what I learned and, you know, how great I could really be, because
you didn't get to apply it.
Then I'm not in the city no more. So all the momentum I had stopped. So yeah, like that show, I can't even say I expected it. I can't even say that I went to sleep feeling different that night, because I still, like, it's God. I just was happy. I enjoyed myself, and I appreciate that I was able to have that type of support, or people come out and want to see me, especially after all this time and not really knowing what I got going. But it's just the music. Like, I don't live in Cincinnati. I'm not door to door with it. I'm not in the clubs. I'm not talking to the DJs. I'm not in their face. So they really, really love what I got going. And it made me feel great, man. And shout out to Santino for bringing me on. That's actually the 3rd venue I sold out since I dropped I'm Back. Because I sold out the barn. I don't know what that barn is called, but it's a barn over there.
Yeah, they didn't even open no more.
Yeah, I sold that out. I sold out Mad Frog. I sold out Thompson House, the small side. And then I sold out Madison Theater Live.
That's lit.
I did Newport Ultra Lounge. I didn't sell it out, but it was packed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I didn't been doing pretty well, man.
So tell me, Nuk, what else is? I mean, you back. We know you back.
Thank you.
Tell me what else is coming up for you for the rest of 2022. What can we expect from 3LetterzNuk?
Man, more music, man, more vibes. I'm getting into acting and different things like that, but more music, of course. I got sliding in my DMs right now, doing really well. It's like going crazy overseas. Like I got people in my comments, I can't even understand what they saying, and which is like, I'm like, okay, give me them. Send me over there. I got W out right now that's doing really well. Like I'm just in my bag, man. You know, I'm writing for myself and other artists. I got artists now myself. Wow. I'm just like doing my thing. Yeah, I'm just vibing, man. Like I said, I'm happy to be here with you, and even, you know, able to just tap in, you know, because like we talked about off camera, we started this together. You know, we all was just young and ambitious, and here we are. So I'm outside, man. I feel great.
It's so good to see you where you at now, because I've seen you in each of these different phases. Been watching, been supportive. Before I got into media, I was always a fan of what you had going on and thought you was a star. So I'm excited for you. You know, you've always got my support right here for 3LetterzNuk Uncut. You know, when you dropping the videos and everything, you know, it'll go up.
Show me love every time.
Every time. Don't nothing go past. You know, we paying attention to 3LetterzNuk. So hopefully now, whatever we can do to add to what you got going on, we gonna do that for sure. You know, we gang.
Always. Okay. I appreciate you, man.
3LetterzNuk, thank you for stopping by 411 Uncut.
Of course.